Hey, sports fans, as my father used to always say, thank you for coming by my YouTube site on February 23rd. Today happens to be one of the happiest days, maybe the happiest day of my life. My son was born tonight at 9 o'clock. 40 years ago, believe it or not. He's a youngster, but moving along, but in a good way. And I can't say it enough how I know for every parent out there who has children, you know how wonderful it is. For every parent out there who is in Scientology and you've lost your children to the church of Scientology, and I say church because what church would say no children are allowed? And that's only for the Sea Org where they can control that. But it's still kind of gross that anyone would support a church that doesn't allow people married and in love to give birth to children. I mean, how is their expansion? You can see the Church of Scientology is dwindling and dwindling. Well, part of that is they can't procreate. They can't have kids. The main part of it. There's still public that can, because the public can. That rule doesn't apply to public, which is anyone who isn't in the Sea Org or on staff. But I don't think they have staff anymore. I'm not sure on that. But anyway, for me, I just wanted to tell you because people ask me all the time, about Scientology and their silent births and what is it and what's it about. And it's it's very odd, I will say, now that I'm out of the Church of Scientology. For me, it was wonderful because I have epilepsy and I was very worried about anything that might trigger that into my son. I don't think making noise and screaming would have done that, but I did at the time. I believed it. Like anything that you say can affect, this is what L. Ron Hubbard said, anything that you can say when someone's hurt or, unconscious or, harmed and kind of out of it, anything you say goes into their reactive mind and can affect them later. And I was like, all right, I'm not saying a word. And I didn't. I had a home birth. I gave birth at home. It was wonderful. It was difficult. It was definitely difficult. But once he came out, it was fantastic. And he has been my joy in my life. I mean, a consistent and wonderful joy. And for everyone out there who has, for some reason, lost your children to the Church of Scientology, one of the reasons I continue to speak out is A, to educate people to not join it, because that's one of the reasons. They break up families, they stop free speech, they have basic civil rights abuses that they do that aren't okay. And I wouldn't want my son or your child to have to experience that. And thus, I keep speaking out until they stop doing that. I've told Miscavige since day one, you need to change some of these abuses. I told them that when I was in. I have. I've been kind of against their, the Sea Org, they would not, even when they had kids, they would hardly ever let them see the kids. They would work them to death, and the parents hardly ever got time to see the kids. And I would always, with a few friends, we'd be talking to executives saying, the children need time with their parents. But of course, they don't listen to us. What do we know? And the funny thing about it is when I was in, everything was like, what do you know? Get out of here. But now that I'm out, it's like, whoosh, if I step on L. Ron Hubbard Way, they've got the street cleared in 3 minutes, which Anonymous had timed years ago. And, it's just weird. It's so weird how you go from nothing to, your cause. That's their thing, your cause over matter, energy, space, and time. Well, when you're in the church, they treat you like you're nothing. But now that I'm out, I am cause over matter, energy, space, and time. Not really. Don't even dare believe that. But they kind of treat you in a very odd way when you leave. But don't stay in the church if you're listening to this because of that. Because it's it's off the rails. You have to know it. You have to know it. Al Rabisi, you know it. Harold Benazazian, you know it. Vicky Drees, you know it. I can go on and on. I know they have good things, which is mostly your friends, right? That's why people stay. They don't want to lose their friends. But guess what? Huge amounts of your friends are out and free, and they don't have to worry about that. And we welcome you. It isn't like, oh, you're in the church, no, the second you walk out the door, it's like, here's a whole family. Come on out. and they're having a good time. So I love you. To my son, Justin, I thank you for coming into my life. I cannot tell you how much joy and just gratitude I have for you and for Harold Bazazian for helping create you. I hope, I pray he wakes up and gets out himself. But in the meantime, my blessings to all of you, and thank you for coming by my YouTube site. You'll probably be seeing a little bit more of me lately. All right, so talk to you soon. I love you. Bye bye. And happy birthday, Justin.